right, so let's go waste no time, man. Let's go and get it started. Let's go and get these banners cracking. All right, so I'm Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210 at Being That Loan, also on all social media. Go to the YouTube at Being That Loan also as well. Go to my website, www.applywithb.com, if you want to go ahead and book me for a consultation, or if you're trying to get a mortgage, hit me up, applywithb.com, 832-775-8357. You can hit me up for a consultation. BrandonBDixon.com if you want to lease list. That's my real estate site. Last but not least, CLCinvestmentclubs.com if you're trying to get in real estate investment, you're trying to mitigate your risk. Also, don't forget to hit the live chat. We'll read your comments, concerns, questions live on the air. So go ahead and hit the chat up. We live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch right now. So go ahead, hit us up. And Corey, I got you live as well. Boom.
All right. It's your boy, you know what I'm saying, Corey Smith, broker, owner, Commodore Mortgage, here for all your real estate needs.
Gotcha. All right, let's go ahead and get started without further ado, man. I ain't got the first one keyed up. I don't even know where I want to start first because I got a bunch of stuff, man. Let's see. I don't know if I want to start from last week the ones from last week or start the ones I got now. Let me start off with a fun one, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You know, this is right up your alley since you're a ball player, man, you know. So let's start with the fun one and let's roll from there, man. You know, so then rock from there.
All videos you will ever see, bro. These middle schoolers were schooling WNBA players. Y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was playing when I said WNBA players can't even beat middle schoolers, or they would have a hard time. They would give them a run for their money. Middle schoolers would legit give WNBA players. Look at this shit. Snatched her shit. Step back three. Smothered cash in her eye, bro. They don't want a fucking 3-point shootout. They got to make 5 threes, one in each spot. And the person who does it first wins, obviously. This kid was dogging her shit. She's like the left wing. He all the way to the right corner. Just watched her shit. I don't think he missed a 3. I don't think he missed 1. By the way, if you want to see the full video, look up Jeffrey Bowie on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct. I'll put the name on the screen so you guys can know where to find it. You're going to want to watch the whole thing. It's hilarious, bro. And I couldn't do the video justice. You're going to want to watch that whole video. The first thing he had them do was play King of the Court. The boys won 7-1. 7-1. They lost against middle schoolers on King of the Court. Then they lost his 3.5 spot game to the boys twice. 2 different boys beat 2 different girls. Then these two started playing knockout. And she was getting ready to lose to this middle schooler, so she threw her ball at his ball and got disqualified, but they gave him the point for that. So they won 3 things. They lost against middle schoolers. And then they played 4v4 to 21. I ain't gonna lie, the girls were putting in work. They were cooking the boys. I ain't gonna lie. The girls were putting in work. But they only won 18-21. They were fighting for their lives against middle schoolers, bro. Look at how hype she is. Look at how fucking, like, you would think they won a fucking championship the way that they're acting, beating middle schoolers, bro. These are 13-year-old kids. Max. It might be 11. Might be 12. Little ass boys and grown women are celebrating, taunting, getting in their face, yelling at them, talking about some, why you so weak? Like, bro, you can't make this shit up. I'm telling y'all, middle schoolers would give WNBA players a run for their money. I don't give a fuck that the boys lost. The fact that they were able to score 18 points on professional women. These are children. You women are grown as hell. Tatted up in some motion. Got a whole weave in your fucking head. These boys can't even drink. They can't even drive. and they giving y'all work like that to where y'all gotta go down to the wire, and it's 21 to 18. You celebrate like y'all did some shit. Y'all are fucking pathetic. This is one of the most hilarious.
Oh man.
I'll let you go at it first. You're in the ball, man.
Oh man. So on the flip side, you know what I'm saying, you know, anybody that's ever played AAU basketball, you know what I'm saying, knows one of the things that coaches tell you when you're playing a less than talented team, you know what I'm saying, don't play down to the level of the competition. Right. But then what happens, you know what I'm saying, you actually go out there and you start bullshitting around and you play down to the level of the competition. One, I would like to know, you know what I'm saying, what WNBA teams these girls play for. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, you know what I'm saying, I don't necessarily think that they were taking it 100% serious because they were playing against middle school kids. It's the same exact way, you know what I'm saying, if anybody watched Tyreek Hill's social media where he has his camp and he does one-on-ones inside his camp. And he has these little kids and he puts on this act that they're juking them out, you know what I'm saying? They're catching the ball on them and all this other stuff. Is he really being, you know, real? Is he really, you know what I'm saying, letting a middle schooler or letting a 12-year-old, you know what I'm saying, juke him out, fake him on the ground and catch over him and all this other stuff? I think once you make it to that level, you know what I'm saying, people have to understand it's a different mindset. It's not a mindset of we got to come in here and dog these kids out or whatever the case may be. So do I think they took it light on them? Yes, I do think they took it light on them. I think some of them kids can shoot. In a shooting competition, the playing field may be a little even. But in just a one-on-one, if they really were competing the same way they were competing in the WNBA, then, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't have been none of that. I'm sure of it.
I don't know, man. Like I said, that ain't my area of expertise, so I can't. But how do you explain them taunting and celebrating if they wasn't taking it serious?
Well, here's the thing, is that, you know what I'm saying, after a while, you know what I'm saying, even for little kids, you know what I'm saying, if they talking shit, you know what I'm saying, you're going to talk shit back. So it's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, that you're into it, you're locked in. It would have been, if they were really locked in, you know what I'm saying, and the competition had raised the level, it would have been a lot more pushing, a lot more bucking up and all this other stuff, a lot more tight defense. You wouldn't have just been able to just to kind of go around them and all this other stuff. It would have got a lot more physical. I put it that way. And that's anything, you know what I'm saying? Even for men, you know what I'm saying? If it gets competitive, like I ain't taking this shit serious. Okay, cool. They start talking smack. Okay, now we're going to start taking this thing serious. Now it's going to get more physical. That didn't happen. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though they was getting taunting and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just a little bit of get back. But how serious are they taking it? Nah, not that serious.
I don't know, man. Like I said, you know, it came down to the wire, man. They should have dog wire. If they could have dog walked, the one they ain't dog walking. You know, I don't get that. Right? Why he's kind of close. You know, too close for comfort, right there. You know, so I mean, I'm pretty sure Jordan or everybody else gonna let no kid mess with him like that. They gonna, hey, I'm gonna show you why I'm the best. You know,
yeah, but there's a reason. There was a reason why Jordan and Kobe was a little bit different because their mindset was a little bit different. They wouldn't have treated it that way. That's the difference.
It's like how you professional. You could. That's just bad for PR. Like you know, this you professional and you letting these kids hang with you. I get it, not taking it serious, but shit, this is your reputation. You guard your reputation with your life. You know, so I can see that.
It's one of them things, man. If you know, you know. Yeah. They wasn't worried about no reputation. They wasn't worried about some amateur guy on the sideline with a video that's cutting this thing up to make it seem one thing what it is. What about
watch the whole video? He's like, nah, he said, watch the whole video.
What about the and then I'd have to go and see the what's called it.
Right, that's what he said. Watch the whole video, man. Like, but again, I got a bunch of stuff, so I ain't gonna dwell on that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one, man. I think they kids gave him a run for the money, man. You know. Let's go ahead and rock this.
Okay, hold on, pause. This is what we're not doing. So every time that he does this, I'm gonna record this. That's not okay. I'm just letting you know. No, the thing is, this is the third time he's done it. This is the third time he's done it. He doesn't want to go with you. So actually show up. Actually show up and do something that with him. Because he does this every time. No, it's not. No, it's not. It ain't because anybody babys him. Give him a baby.
That's terrible. 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, it's not that at all. No, it's not. No, yeah, I will. But I'm telling you right now, every single time we come here and he's quiet, we're going to record that. And it's what, hey, it's up with me. Just know that it's up.
Get your bitch ass out my driveway, ho.
You don't pay for shit.
Fuck you. You don't pay for shit either. $170,000 to your hoe, but $11,000 in your son's bank account. $11,000 in your son's bank account, but $170 to that boat. Get out your car. Get out.
Women like that is the problem. Yeah, the fact that he's showing up to pick his son up is everything. But you coming out there and antagonizing him about the baby crying or whatever, and now what, you not gonna let him get his son because the baby cried? What's the problem? So what? He crying, he'll be all right. So what? So what? And the minute he got in the car, the crying stopped. And then, but what you're doing, she's coming out there antagonizing him to make the exchange a bad experience for the child. And every time you antagonize the dad, when he comes to pick the child up in this drama, it upsets the child. And then you walking out to the car with no good intentions. And basically what she is a baby mama. That is the definition of a baby mama. The word want. He don't want to go. He don't have any choice but to go because he have two parents, not one, two. A child don't get to choose whether he goes or not. That man is obviously a good dad, obviously doing well for himself or whatever. And you turning fatherhood, trying to make fatherhood a bad experience for him because it's all about you. What a narcissist. And I don't give a damn who get mad. Men are tired of being put up with that shit. Do what's in the best interest of the child. Do the right thing. Take the child out to the car and tell the child, why won't you comfort the child and say, hey, it's okay. We're going with daddy. You're going to have a great time. I'll see you when you get back. You'll be fine. Or just close the door if you can't take him crying. Okay? He ain't crying blood. Blood ain't running out of his eyes. So what he crying? The more they cry, the less they piss. Let him cry. But let him go be with his dad. So, you know what I'm saying? So he can toughen up. Because you damn sure can't teach him how to be a man. And women like that is absolutely disgusting. Not saying that she is disgusting, but her act and the way she behaved in the exchange of the child is absolutely disgusting. And a lot of men decide that they don't want to put up with that shit. And they just say, hey, I'll just see the child when they get 18. And then when they turn 16 and you and your mama babied the child to death, and now the child's 16 and becomes entitled, soft, and don't have no spine or whatever because he ain't been around no man or whatever. Yeah, you need to go with your daddy. You need to go with your daddy. Hey, come get him. I can't do nothing with him. That's what's going to happen. If he decide that, hey, let me just go and pay you every month and because I'm not going to put up with that or whatever. So that's crazy. That's insane for you to do that during his visitation, his time with the child, for you to put on a show and come out to the car to antagonize. You didn't have no good reason to come to the car. You had no business going to that car. When he picked that child up at the door, you should have gave him that child and you should have closed the door and went on about your damn business. That's some stupid ass, weak ass shit you did. I don't give a damn who get mad. We sick of that. We sick of that. There's a lot of good dads out here trying to do right, trying to do the right thing. You're always talking about a deadbeat dad and the child support. Then you bring up the money. So now it's about money. That's what it's about. He got $11,000 in his bank account. That's more than most kids have. That's more than most kids have. What do you do to deserve $100 and whatever $1,000? What do you do to deserve it? Where do you work? Where's your job? You and your mama. Why y'all ain't at work? Man, fuck out of here.
Oh man, Ricky Smiley was talking from the heart right there.
He must have went through it, huh?
Hey, look, Ricky Smiley got a lot of kids too. He got a lot of kids. Some his, some ain't his, but he got a lot of kids. And some of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, he had to go through.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, to see that right there, you know what I'm saying, it hit close to home. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, 100% it makes sense because something has to be done when a woman is weaponizing the kids just to try to punish the fathers because they're mad for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the system is told, or the system is supposed to be where, you know what I'm saying, it's supposed to be in the best interest of the child. It's supposed to be in the best interest of the child. But in a lot of cases, you know what I'm saying, it's not that. It's what's in the best interest of the mom. Because they out here living their best life and treating the fathers like hell. All that man was trying to do was come and pick up his child. And now you done made a hostile situation and you're videotaping it. You're probably going to show it to the courts, and the courts are probably going to figure out some way to say that this is the man's fault for, like Ricky Smiley say, you antagonizing the situation. So it just doesn't quite make sense to me. And I think Ricky Smiley was 100% on point. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that needs to be said regardless of what kind of backlash is going to come from it. Because there's going to be many people that feel strongly one way or the other. But me, I'm in 100% agreement with Ricky Smiley and everything he said.
Right. I mean, like I said, I've been talking about advocating for men's rights and stuff like that. I think the bounce back happened. It went too far to the other side. You know, with this legislation, I think some of this legislation needs to be dialed back a little bit. You know, with these child support laws, these visitation laws, you know, because I've been through it with the visitation law. I get, you know, hey, 745 to, you know, it's so strict. And then, like I said, they could, if she got something to do or whatever, you know, she could go ahead and cancel my read or whatever, you know. So I've been through all that stuff. You know, I got to come pick her up, and no drop off and stuff like that. It's ridiculous how lopsided it is. And like I said, she could cause a disturbance. I've been through that too. She caused a disturbance. It's all on your fault. So like everything got to be perfect. You just hoping and wish everything perfect, and sometimes it don't be. But if it's not, it's your fault. So it's crazy. I mean, I've been through my situations. I know, but I guess you could say it's all on you because you gotta, you know, men got to take responsibility for planting their seeds. You got to plant your seeds inside fertile soil, man. I understand mistakes happen, but you got to watch who you having a baby with. You know, so that's probably the biggest burden on him is like, I made the decision, now I got to live with it. And as you can see, money not gonna. You have all the money in the world, not gonna be able to pay for these problems to go away. You know, especially, you know, so you got to watch what you're doing. Your decisions could haunt you for years to come. And like I said, at 18, it don't go away. You know, it's still issues, damn near forever. You know, you know, you could it fades away, but it's still there. You know, so because y'all are forever connected. But don't forget, you giving the most precious gift to this person.
Correct.
People don't treat it like that. People just treat it, you know, lustful night, you know, sloppy. You know what I mean? And not thinking about the long term. Like, how can you co-parent? You even know this person to co-parent with, you know? So you know, it's kind of on us as well. So I've been through it. I feel what he's saying. I've been through the, you know, antagonizing the new girlfriend, jealous of the new girlfriend. I've been through it all. You know what I mean? So it's a tough situation. I don't envy him. I'm glad I'm out for them years. You know what I'm saying? It's them years though too when he can't communicate. I mean the worst ones. When they start talking, it can get a little bit easier. But shit, when they at that age, it's tough.
Yeah, but they can't do nothing but cry. You know what I'm saying? It's rough.
Right.
But here's the other thing too. You know what I'm saying is that it becomes a little bit exhausting, and when the man himself, like, even though, you know what I'm saying, she's coming out the house, she's following him to the car, she's antagonizing the situation, it's upon the man to always be the bigger person, you know what I'm saying, and not to respond. Because if a man matches that same energy, he's automatically seen as the aggressor, regardless of what the woman has done.
Right.
And,
And you know, PJ Washington or whatever he got, you know, he incident away from losing contract, losing endorsement deals.
Correct.
All that stuff. I wouldn't even have my pick up myself personally. I have an assistant pick him up. You know, because it's too close to like us. What if she wig out? You know?
Well, here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? People like that gonna always find a reason, right? To make the situation worse than what it is. So if you don't come pick that person up, you know what I'm saying, then, you know, she's like, well, I can't let my court said I'm supposed to release him to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who this person is. Woo, 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 woo. Even though she's met the person, probably hung out with him, whatever. But you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be in the car, but nah, you know, hey, I don't want to have no talking to you. I don't want to have no dealings with you. You know, so that's how I would play it. Because she's too close. You know what I mean?
Look, if you run into somebody like that, even if you in the car, you could be in the back seat. Hell, you could be in the trunk. They're gonna find a way to make that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, and the camera's rolling too. Hey, look, and you know she on well, you probably don't know, but she on Basketball Wives. So you know what I'm saying? They, you know, with that reality TV, you know what I'm saying, they encourage that type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? So it's ingrained in you now. It's going, you know, camera rolling. Oh, we're gonna find a way to make a scene.
Gotcha. Shout out to man, Skirt. He said, man, hey, little fella, just subscribe, man. Congratulations, man. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate Skirt.
Yeah, so let's go into this next clip, man. Let's go run it.
You know what Texas just did? They finally empowered homeowners to immediately remove squatters from their property. No judges, no hearings, no drawn out court battles. I want to explain to you why this is huge. For years, property owners across the country have been held hostage by squatters and then use loopholes in the legal system to drag out the process for months, all the while the homeowners are bleeding dry. In Texas, that ends today. The law now gives homeowners the right to call law enforcement to come to their property and immediately remove squatters that are in their property. That means if you're paying the mortgage, paying the taxes, paying the insurance, you don't have to beg a judge to get your property back. Now you have real control of your property. And let's keep it real. This should be a law in every single state. Think about this. Why should the person breaking the law have more protection than the one that's actually paying the bills? It makes no sense. Squatters aren't tenants. They did not sign a lease. They didn't make an agreement. They are trespassers. And if you trespassed on somebody's property, you should not have months or even years of legal loopholes to play around living in somebody's property for free, all the while we're trying to figure it out. Texas got it right. And until the rest of the country follows, places like New York, Chicago, and California, where the laws continue protecting the wrong people, these things are going to continue happening. Home ownership is supposed to mean ownership, not stress, not having to fight for what's rightfully yours. Texas set the example. Now the real question is, will the rest of the country catch up? I guess we'll have to see.
I don't know if you was aware of that law that just got passed.
I remember seeing something about it, a headline on an article that came to my inbox, but I didn't read it to the details of it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's about time. And then, you know what I'm saying, I think that's just one law of many that are actually going to change against people that are actually abusing the system. I feel bad on one side. I feel great because, you know what I'm saying, now landlords that have the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to actually take back their property and not bleed dry, especially, you know what I'm saying, when they're living rent to rent, you know what I'm saying, to be able to make the mortgage payment. You don't put them in a situation where they're in financial ruin. But the other side of it is, you know what I'm saying, is that when you're dealing with people that have a mindset like that, they're going to make it very difficult for the cops to play judge and jury right there on the spot. And you may get a good cop that's able to have conflict resolution, or you may get a bad cop that has no idea what's going on. And one example that automatically comes to mind is I had a tenant one time inside a property, went to court to get them evicted. And they had actually created and drafted another lease that was not the regular lease just to try to put it in their favor in front of a judge.
Right.
In front of a judge, fabricated a lease. So when I tell you, you know what I'm saying, the mindset of an actual criminal is, you know what I'm saying, if the cops show up and somebody in the tenant says, hey, look, man, we got a written lease from this cat. How can a cop determine, you know what I'm saying, if that's a legally binding document, if that's a real document or not? Landlord says they don't have any agreements. They haven't signed any agreements with the people. They're squatting. People that squatting said they have rights.
Right.
So you leave it on the cops to actually make that decision. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only bad thing that I see about it, is because I don't know how a cop is going to handle it, because now they're given the power and the authority to make the decision on the spot.
Right.
But at least, you know what I'm saying, we've made strides forward, because, you know what I'm saying, in most cases, you're not going to run into that. But in some cases, a criminal is a criminal. They're going to find some way to make it hard in hell for you.
Right. I mean, like I said, that's usually the squatters are a problem, like you said, in a lot of those blue liberal states, but like you said, New York, California, Illinois, you know, they trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do as far as squatters having rights, I guess. You know, I think they got them, you know, crossed with renters' rights and stuff like that. But there's a stark difference. There's a difference between somebody you have no idea who that is. You come back from vacation, or you come back from, you know, check on a property and somebody's living there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you can't kick them out right away. There's so much red tape. You know, you can't get them out of your house that you're paying for, you know, or that you done paid for.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, so I think with that being said, it should be Texas, like you said, did get it right. There should be a common sense approach to this. There's a difference. I think it's really, if you break an agreement, you should be limited time as well before we can evict you. If I go through the proper channels, you should be able to get evicted out of the house if you're not paying. You know, you breached the contract. Every other thing breach contract is there's consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people can sit in the house so long. I don't know why. What's the bottlenecking? Why does it take so long? You know. So, but again, I got a few clips of. I'm gonna keep them rolling, man. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Keep it rolling, man.
Let's get it.
Did the league kind of humble you when you got in the league, because you was the best player on the field every snap until you got drafted, and first overall they showed you was the best player? Was that humbling? Because I ain't gonna lie, the league was humbling to me. Because I was All-American, got to the league, and I was like, oh yeah, these boys running.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the league humbled me. I would say that I didn't dream big enough. Meaning that, like, I was like every kid, like, I want to make it to the league. Like, honestly, me and Michael Vick was talking about this, man. Like, my first Super Bowl was last year in New Orleans, and I found a way to sneak on the field, man, to get down there by Michael Vick. They didn't even want to let me on the field. That was crazy. But I'm happy I knew the little stewardess. She had let me slide out. but she let me get on the field. They're my people in New Orleans. But I was talking to Vick, man, and I asked him, I was like, man, you ever think you ain't dream big enough? And he's like, man, you're right. He's like, because I never dreamed of winning a Super Bowl. I just dreamed of making it. Wow. And I was like, did you dream that you would change a whole generation of quarterbacks? He was like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just was living it. And wow. Like, it's funny, like, the Lord works so good. Like, he give us the stuff that, it's amazing when he give us the stuff that we pray for. But it's unbelievable he gives us stuff that we ain't even asked for. I ain't even asked to be going to my 11th year in the NFL. I just asked the Lord to make it. And when I look at, like, my prayers to just make it, they weren't big enough. They weren't specific. So I tell the kids, I was like, man, listen, if you want to win a Super Bowl, start praying to win the Super Bowl. You don't want to just pray to make it to the league, because the league average is 3 years anyway. Making it then, when I was growing up, it was good enough. But now, it ain't good enough. So what was humble was my aspirations, what I wanted, and I realized it wasn't big enough. There was more, and that's why when I say dream forever, I'm talking about dream beyond what you can even imagine. Because if you set your mind to it, if you set your attention to it, you will attract it.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I thought they.
Yeah, I felt that. Like I said, I always say that, man. That's what my mentor book is, Dream Big. He really put things in perspective as far as like, yeah, really, you go beyond your imagination. I always do that as far as my personal goals. Shoot for the stars. If I end up in a tree, it's higher than the ground, right? That's the theory. But I never did that with the aspiration. Aspiration, I always thought like, all right, I want to do this, I want to do that. What if that's not big enough? What if I need to go bigger? You know, and then I think we talk ourselves out a lot of stuff. I just want to do this. You know, if I can do this, then, you know, and we limited ourselves, I think. You know, so I like what he said, you know, keeping it short and sweet.
Yep. I think Jameis Winston is one of those cats that have actually grown as a off-field personality, you know what I'm saying, over the years. And when I tell you, you know what I'm saying, he was born to be a motivational speaker, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy. Because to me, you know what I'm saying, it took kind of a negative question that he was asked, and he somehow figured out a way to kind of flip that on his head and change it into something different about dreaming big enough. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think that was anybody's expectation for what his response was going to be. But I think it was the perfect response for what somebody should have answered that question. And it gave pause because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people was just like, man, you know what I'm saying, you know, including me, was like, man, you know what? He got a point.
Right.
A lot of people don't dream big enough, but I think, you know what I'm saying, dreams kind of change as you start to accomplish certain goals. And I do think, you know what I'm saying, after a certain goal, when people accomplish that, they don't choose to set a new goal, which is the one thing that I would change about it. So here's the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, most people should dream big enough. If I'm in college, you know what I'm saying, my dream is to get to the Super Bowl, but my first dream is to make it first, because there's a small percentage of people that don't make it to the league, whatever sport that it is. So obviously, you know what I'm saying, that's the first goal. Once you accomplish that goal, then you reset a new goal. What is that new goal? Win a Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, 5 Pro Bowls, whatever the case may be, whatever your goal you want it to be, then you can reset that at that time. But I think for some people, you know what I'm saying, they just become satisfied when they make it to the league because they're like, okay, now I'm in the league. I've made enough money to change my family's life. I made enough money to set myself aside, or whatever the case may be. So whatever happens from here, I'm done with it. It is what it is. And I think the way that you approach the game and the way you approach the goals moving forward is going to be according to how you feel about accomplishing those goals. If you don't set a new goal, you know what I'm saying, you have nothing, you have no why, you have no motivation. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, just making it to the league, that's all you're going to do, make it to the league. You ain't going to accomplish nothing else. Just because your motivation ain't there, your work ethic not going to be there. So long story short, to keep it short and sweet, like B said, you know what I'm saying, I like everything that he says, and I think it does give people a different perspective on moving forward.
Right. I mean,
Just
this
dream big.
add to that and hit to the next one real quick, is that unless you have it on your mind, there's no way you can form a game plan for it. If you're not even thinking about this, there's no way you can game plan for it. Mm-hmm. You know, so you get there, you go, all right, I'm there. So now what's the next vertical integration to what I'm doing? We don't think about it. So how can it materialize? And so that's where it stops.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, that, you know, that's how I'm thinking, you know, keep it going.
Mhm.
I found a house near the hood I want to renovate. What is the best way to finance it?
How much is the property?
90,000.
How much are the renovation?
40,000.
So you're all in for 130,000. What's the property going to be worth when you get done?
245,000.
We know that the bank will loan us 75% of the 245. What's 75% of 245?
183,000.
The bank will loan you 80% of acquisition. How much is acquisition?
90,000.
20% of that is 18,000. Plus you're going to have another 6,000 in closing costs. So you're going to need about $25,000. You can use my 0% credit cards to close on that property. Okay. You can liquidate that 25 grand off, come up with the money for the down payment. And then the bank will give you 100% of the renovation cost. How much will renovation cost again?
40,000.
So you only need to use my credit cards to close on this deal, man. That is called a fix and flip loan. Very first loan you want to do is fix and flip loan. And then once you get it stabilized, rent it out, we're going to take you and do what's called a DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio. And Caden, you already did 2 of these loans. You don't have any tax returns, any income. Did they even ask you for tax returns?
No.
Why?
They're not looking at you personally. They're looking, can this property service debt? And if so, you're good.
Do you understand what debt service coverage ratio means?
After your insurance and taxes, it's what your ratio is between your net operating income and what your debt service is.
You're absolutely right. So in other words, whatever your rental income is has to be equal to your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now, I like to make sure that we have at least a 1.2, 1.25 debt service coverage ratio. So you got some cash flow coming in. You can get a better rate doing that too. Got to be careful doing them 1.0s because do too many of them, you're going to be losing money. If you guys want to learn more about this, get on a call with me and I'll explain to you what them loans are, how you can use them. Because a lot of you guys are like, oh, I don't have money to do a property. Stop thinking you need money. You don't need money. People always say, you need money to make money. I said, where the hell did money come from? That's not what you need. You need real skills. If you're struggling to understand what the
boys always got to throw that little ad in there at the end, man. That's
Always.
you know, but I mean, I like the way you're doing it, man. I like the way, you know, you're teaching the kid. The kid knows, like an encyclopedia, man. He got it down pat. I mean, that's how you want it. You pass it down to family business. I mean, that's how you want your kids at that age. I think the kid at 17, 18 to be very versed in what he's doing. That's the thing, man. Like people want these the fruit. I say this all the time. People want these luxuries, but they didn't get skilled at anything. You didn't immerse yourself in anything. You know, you don't know everything, all the ins and outs of everything. You tiptoeing here, tiptoeing there. It's like the old cliche, jack of all trades, master of none. Once y'all master something first, and then the money gonna come. Mm-hmm. So this kid know all, you know, at an early age, all the ins and outs. What do you think? If he stick with it, he's gonna get better and better and better. He's gonna know a good deal like the back of his hand in the next 2-3 years. For by the time he's 25, for sure. You know, he's gonna be so skilled at doing this. But you gotta immerse yourself in what you're doing. You gotta get cold at something. You know? So I'll leave it like that, short and sweet on that, you know?
Yep. I think the younger the better, you know what I'm saying, in order to kind of start your progression in the real estate, because real estate is always changing. There's so much to learn. And then the younger you actually learn that, the more you can go through, you know what I'm saying, those pitfalls, you know, you can hit that learning curve and you can recover from it because, you know what I'm saying, you're not looking at the other side of the mountain. You're not looking at your down years by the time you're actually trying to figure this thing out. The one thing I will say about the video is that it's good information is because it starts the wheel to spinning. You know what I'm saying? It starts people to thinking, wanting to research, wanting to call, or whatever the case may be. The one thing I don't like about some of these videos is that, you know what I'm saying, they're a little bit misleading. When you talk about, oh man, it's as simple as, you know what I'm saying, you need 25 grand, go ahead and get 25 grand off the credit card. That's your down payment. Now you're good. Well, it's not that simple because, you know what I'm saying, now that you got 25 grand and you've actually closed on the property, now what are you going to do to start the renovations? That's the next question. You know what I'm saying? So like if 25 grand is the only thing that you have in your pocket, then what are you going to do to start the renovations? You have to understand from an investing standpoint, if I'm lending out my money and I'm not asking you for any income docs, I don't know how long you've been to work. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, if you living at your mama house, whatever the case may be. I'm solely lending you money based upon this asset. then I need to be protected to make sure that if you have renovation costs, I'm not giving you 25 or 30 grand, as he put it, no, 40 grand inside the thing. I want to make sure that I'm not giving you 40 grand and you're running off of my money to Vegas. That's what I need to make sure of. So in order to do that, I need you to put your money up front. And then when you complete the renovations, then I will actually reimburse you. But in order to do those renovations, you got to have money out of pocket to start those renovations.
I don't know where you get that from.
I've done it. What you mean, B?
No,
When last time you did a hard money?
What is it? September? What is it? July? That's not how that works. The bank gonna actually, you got to have your investor and your rental team in place. They're gonna, if it's not on the list, they'll vet them themselves, and then they cut the check straight to the rental people, whoever your contractor is. They got to be, on a list or bonded or vetted. Depends on depends on the lender. But they cut the checks they phase that money out. Like, all right, you complete this phase, you get this. The actual rental people are doing the work up front. So they get paid after they complete a phase.
No, we ain't talking about a 203K or something. We're talking about
we're talking about a hard money loan. You might need to give us some of my banks. Like we don't. That's not how we do it.
Well, look, people double check and make sure, because I've been in this thing for a while, flipped for a while, got rental properties, the whole thing, and I've never seen anybody do that. So just make sure you double check.
Several things that do this. Yeah, there's got several. And if you want to go Govy, I did a Govy one in June or May. It was the conventional version of the
home style renovation.
Home style. Even the home style, you need reserves to do a home style. 6 months of reserves, but that's after the repair value, ARV.
Right. Again, that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like the 203K in a home style renovation, you still got to put paycheck stubs, bank statements. You know what I'm saying? You got to verify income. Right. When hard money, you can't ask for none of that. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so risky, because the more risk is, we need to make sure we cover it.
I don't know what banks you're dealing with. Hard money loans is you pay a higher rate, but they don't need any of that stuff. I did somebody in Port Arthur, they had like a 500 credit score. They didn't even, they asked to see the credit report, but they didn't stop them.
Correct. That's correct.
But
that's a credit report. Did they ask for a paycheck stub?
They didn't ask for a paycheck. The guy did work.
That's what I'm saying.
So they're not gonna look at any of that stuff. So
correct.
He did the rental and all that stuff. He didn't have any money out of pocket. He inherited that property. Now,
that's correct. So then that was a refinance. That's different.
Well, no, it was a rental loan, a renovation. So he was pulling.
No, I 100% get it. You know what I'm saying? It was a rental loan. But what I'm saying is that if that was a purchase versus an actual refi, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different.
Well, refi is different. It's different what we're talking about. If you're talking about acquiring a property, I've done several of those where you talk about acquiring a property. That's kind of what we do. That's my wheelhouse. Like, acquiring a property, that's distressed. You're putting the money in exactly what it described. You get the renovation costs. You get your and then you got a lot of private money. Private money. I got people that'll go 30%. He said 35. Or no, he said 25. I got people go 25 and 30. Of the ARV. So and then you get the rest of it. Yeah, I've done deals where they, 20,000 out of pocket. Especially if the after repair value, like you said, gonna be 250, right? 245. He said. And your cost in the cost of acquisition and the repairs are way less than that. They'll give you that all day, because what happens is they got 130 in it. you know, already. If they finish the repairs or they even sell it, you know, they still gonna make their money because they come and take the house. You know,
what's the guarantee the repairs are done?
well, even if the repairs are not done, they're not gonna cut the check for $40,000 right away. They're gonna fade that boy out. You gotta take pictures, and it just depends on lenders. Some lenders you gotta take pictures and send those in, and then when those are okay, then you get your money, and it's phased out like that. All right, I'm gonna pour this, I'm gonna build this up, then you get your money. All right, 5,000 here, 7,000 there. You're not gonna the actual contractor take the risk because he gotta actually start the repair before he get any money. You know, so just depends. Now sometimes all right, they'll give you some material costs. All right, so we get, you know, here goes the material, so go ahead and get started. But you're not gonna get any labor where they can skip off. All right, 40,000, I go to Vegas. It's not happening because that's not going directly to you. That's going to the contractor. You know, so. But let's go ahead to the next one.
The albums released since 2018. More than 100 million global streams, sold out shows from major venues to his childhood backyard. No record label radio push, no splashy venture capital funded PR campaigns, just LaRussell and his team Good Company getting to work.
There's a different roller coaster when you're independent because you're constantly taking risks for a reward that you see in your head. That may not be something that looks completely tangible yet, but you have to just go with like what you feel.
Thanks to an innovative offer-based business model using sliding scales, LaRussell has reimagined what success in music can look like. Supporters can bid on everything from concert tickets to merch, take stock in his songs for royalties, and even pay for experiences with them. The access has turned fans into family.
How have you been able to be successful in an area in a way that others haven't?
Because I'm me. When have you went to see a hip hop concert at 2 p.m.? That's why I get grandmothers and I get children and I got 50, 40, 30. I have every age from 1 to 100.
So you own everything.
Yeah, I've made millions of dollars from Vallejo, California. When you're building billion-dollar things, millions of dollars don't do it. I'm still hustling because I'm building something mega.
40 albums released since 2018.
Yeah, shout out to LaRussell, man. I got a couple of songs in the playlist, man. He dope artist. I mean, I like the way he did it. He doesn't play. He didn't write a trend. He kind of did his own lane with this digital thing, and he got his own lane, and he became wealthy off of it. You know, just from having concerts in his backyard and stuff like that. You know, he built this organic following. You know, so. But shout out to
LaRussell. Look, you know what I'm saying? It was what he's doing, and you know what I'm saying, is creating a new model for the music industry. And it's hit or miss every time, you know what I'm saying, you're the pioneer, you know what I'm saying, you're the first through the door. And then obviously his was a hit and it's working for him. Can't do nothing but tip your hat to it. And you own 100% of everything, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody there to tell you when you can and when you can't release an album, what songs you can put on an album, what you can say inside an album. There's nobody there because, you know what I'm saying, you are your own boss.
Right.
The bid on tickets, you know what I'm saying? Just the whole infrastructure that he's building right now, you know what I'm saying, I think is going to lead to something a little bit bigger that he alluded to in that interview, but hasn't necessarily said yet because, you know what I'm saying, he's probably working on, you know, patents or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, in order to be able to get it done. But it's always good to see somebody kind of do it on their own when they couldn't go the cookie cutter route.
Right. Since we on the music, let's go. I'm gonna piggyback this one with this one.
The labels have a deal with the streaming services. So as far as that goes, your money is coming in at like an 18th or a 32. Like you get 1%, like the bottom of the barrel, bro. If you get a #1 record on radio, urban radio, rhythmic radio, God forbid you get a #1 record on top 40 radio that hot white people, bro. Big check. That's all that matter, bro. They pay you differently at radio. The scales, how you get paid when your record is spinning at radio, it supersedes a stream in life.
No, how much do you get if I get 1 million spins on radio?
Mm-hmm. I think that you could probably be like a multi-millionaire out there.
I think a million?
1 million spins? What are you talking about, bro? Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't even know the numbers. I got like 20 billion streams. I ain't really seen no big bag off of that. I did Big Sean bounce back. The record 9 times platinum right now. It's about to be diamond. I got 3 records that's about to go diamond this year. Cannot as an artist with me and Ray J about to be diamond this year. Mm-hmm. Big Sean bounce back about to be diamond this year. A Boogie look back at it about to be diamond this year. All them records ran radio #1 records. That Cannot, me and Ray J was #2 Hot 100 for weeks. We didn't catch that #1, but it was a crazy record. But when you think about it and put it all in perspective, the biggest records that pay me the most when I speak about that, Big Sean bounced back. That was License and Sync at the Super Bowl. It had Super Bowl commercials and all that other. I never forget, I was buying my first house, and like out of the blue, I just caught a bag from residuals from 500 grand, $500,000. You'll never get that type of shit from these records, bro. You gotta have big radio records, and your records gotta be in the system, License Sync, which y'all see the ESPN. Like, think about like Lil Wayne getting paid every time that Skip Bayless and them show come on and he rapping that. You know what I'm saying? Like the money machine gonna ring in his sleep. That's what we working for, bro. If you stream, the labels.
I get it. Since the test of times in the beginning, music has never been enough. It was the reason they started doing all these brand deals, because they wasn't getting that much of a bag off of just music by itself. Now, don't get me wrong, you go on tour, they can get money. But you know what I'm saying, when you talk about, you know what I'm saying, you know, as he said, you know what I'm saying, making money when you sleep, you got to have something else, because music ain't gonna do it by itself. But it just depends on how big you dreaming. You know what I'm saying? If you just okay with living a mediocre life, you know what I'm saying, and you know, you make sure the lights stay on, the bills paid, mom's happy, pop's happy, you know what I'm saying, everybody's happy, then maybe you don't care, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a reason why people go to the Super Bowl to perform, and they have to pay in order to do it. People that perform at the Super Bowl don't get paid anything. You're talking about millions of views, millions of people, everything, you know what I'm saying? And they spend a whole shit ton of money just to be able to perform and put on this production at the Super Bowl. And they get paid not a dime from the NFL for it. But there's a reason for it, because they see those residuals come back. The streams start to go off. Now you got all these brand deals. Everybody want a piece of you. You're sold out shows, so on and so forth. So music has never been enough. It's all the other stuff that comes along with it, is what, you know what I'm saying, artists have learned a long time ago that they have to do. And it's what the smart ones have done.
I think I heard something else that Hitmaker was saying. I think it is enough for the music, but it's the music that's in the system as far as radio and syncing. Streams ain't enough, is what he's saying. Streaming, even Snoop Dogg was saying something about that streaming. They need to recalibrate that whole thing, because you need millions and billions of stream in order to see even a little bit of money. It's so watered down. So, but if you're in TV or radio, that's where the big bag is. So if your music is in that machine, that's where you see the residual. But it is enough for music, but it's where your music is being heard is the key. So they made streaming accessible to everybody, even underground artists. You could go in Apple, you got underground artists that, you know, you can put up and stream their music. But there's only certain people that could be in that radio or that on those TV shows. They get those type of bags. But there's money in music. Depends on who you are. You know, so depends on who you are. But let's go and hit the next one. or where is your hit? Is it an underground hit? Is it a mainstream hit? So on and so forth.
Something that I've learned running a business and dealing with Black people. You can be selling the cure to cancer, and there can be 50 Black people in the line that have been diagnosed with cancer and need what you're selling. But if they look at you and you nice looking, you well kept, you live nice, you drive nice things, you know what they're going to say? I'd rather die before I spend my money with him or her to sponsor their lifestyles. That's how small y'all mindsets is, right? And it bothers me. And that's one reason why I don't place myself in a bubble to only service us. I service them all. And one thing I can tell you, I don't give a damn what nobody else say. One of my Caucasian clients come in and I tell her she's going to be with me for 3 months. And that program costs $3,200. The credit card is being swiped. The process begins. I tell my sisters that y'all want to break things down this way. You want to do this. You want to do it that way. No, the fuck you can't. Not here. That's the reason why businesses have websites. That's a part of systems. You take your ass there. You look at the prices there. And you tell yourself, hey, I don't think I can afford this. And you keep your ass away. Not come in and try to figure out a way to become a problem. Try to figure out a way to strip people of value, your sisters and brothers who are of value, of their value. Let me tell y'all something that I've learned running a business.
What you got? What you got?
That's a tough one right there.
Right.
That is a tough one. Man, you know what I'm saying? It's a tough one because you know what I'm saying, you want to pay people for what they're worth, the value that they provide to you. But in a world where, you know what I'm saying, so many things is a facade. So many things are fraud. So many things are not as they appear to be. You just have to be careful where you spend your money and who you do business with. And you know what I'm saying, you know, different strokes, different folks, everybody don't match. Everybody don't pair together. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, if our personalities don't match, that's fine. But I'm going to ask questions without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be questions to ask. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that what you saying you're going to do to the best of my abilities. But you know what I'm saying, anybody that's just like, man, look, you know what I'm saying, this is what it is, you know what I'm saying, just swipe your card and you're going to get what you get. Those people kind of scare me a little bit because, you know what I'm saying, those are the worst experiences that I've had. Now, there are some people out there that says, hey, look, I got value, you know what I'm saying, I know my value. Either you see it or you don't. They may be the coldest person at they deal. I just haven't ran across that person yet. That's just my personal experience. So I get what she's saying. If I know what I know and I'm valuable, you shouldn't question that. Or, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't be trying to negotiate and figure out, you know what I'm saying, how you can get around my fee or get under my fee and all this other stuff. 100% get that. But, you know, there's somebody, you know what I'm saying, that had bad experiences, agree with it or not, you know what I'm saying, I'm tiptoeing in that thing and I'm going to ask some questions. And if it don't work, it don't work.
Well, I feel what she said. That's what the website for. Do your research before you get to me. So if you did your research and you understand my reputation, then there should be no more pension. Like Pip C used to say, pension and bargaining. You know, so I feel on that note, like I said, we do ask an absorbent amount of questions when it comes to us, but you'll wholeheartedly get that wallet over if I didn't look like I looked. You know, so I get what she's saying to that because I got all of the above on the businesses. So that's why you really can't put your face on anything. I prefer to like play the background, like I'm not even on. I just work here, you know. So and that way they don't think they putting the money directly in your pocket. It works wonders, you know. If they feel that they put the money directly in your pocket, here comes the apprehension. Well, what I get with this, and you know, so I always, when I do own businesses, I play like I don't own them. That way you don't have to worry about not supporting me. I mean, I'll worry about supporting me. I take myself out of the equation. Let the product or service speak for itself. Don't put my face on it. You know, and that's the games you got to play. That, you know, because what happens is the prejudgment, jealousy, envy, self-hatred, you know, it's all real things. I ain't got time to figure out who's who. So why put myself out there like that? Hey, listen, go ahead, let my business run itself, meaning that let it speak for itself. You know, if you support the business, don't support me. Take me out of the equation. Because what happens is you're not gonna like me. But you're gonna find some reason not to like me. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Don't take it personal. It's supposed to be just business. So let me run this next one, man. Let me run this next one.
This is it, boys. This is how you enjoy the fruits of your labor. When you become a man who has a good, strong, masculine personality, confidence, you've learned game, you've learned how to cold approach and talk to women, you have a strong social media, it's a high-status social media presence, you have a little bit of money in the bank, you're not a broke boy, you can go out and travel and meet feminine Latinas, get your passports, go out of the country, you put in the time to learn fluent Spanish, even though I'm speaking English right now. Yo hablo español casi con 100% fluidez. Sí o sí. Entonces, this is how you enjoy the fruits of your labor as a man who's earned his right to be treated like a king with his Pocahontas indigenous creatures. This is it, boys.
I like the Riz channels, man. The boys starting to, the passport bros. You know, get their passport and doing their thing outside the country, man.
You know, mad at them. Right. Look, find your girl anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of them in the country, out the country, in the city, out the city, whatever.
That boy learned fluent Spanish. You know what I'm saying? That boy, he cold with it. Man, you see they got these translator earbuds now.
Translator earbuds?
Yeah, it's like $50. I got them in my car right now. I'm about to order that and something else, but I'm about to learn. Well, all you do is you place one of the earbuds in the other person's ear, and you got one earbud. Yeah, so you just talk normal, and then when it picks it up, and then they're gonna put it in their language, 130 languages,
and then you just talk back and forth. Hey, look, I'm not surprised. Technology is a beast.
Right. So that's some Star Trek stuff right there. It's live in the flesh right now. So they're gonna talk to them. But I was thinking about it. They probably been had that stuff because remember the United Nations and all that. The presidents be having that something in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably just not getting available to the public. But they probably had this technology for a minute.
They did, but you know what I'm saying, once they come out with the technology, you know what I'm saying, it goes through a whole bunch of red tape. That stuff takes forever. You know what I'm saying? When they come, they got to get the IP patent. You know what I'm saying? They got to get all this other stuff just to make sure somebody else don't try to take their stuff. They can protect their stuff. So I think that takes a while. But I think immediately the government jumps in and takes over. And that beats a hell of a lot better than some man sitting next to the president trying to hurry up, you know what I'm saying, and translate, you know what I'm saying, what somebody else is saying while they're talking. This way, you know what I'm saying, it makes it 100% easier.
Right.
Let AI technology do it for you.
Let's hit this next one. Let me show you a stark comparison. You see the passport, bro. He's in his female all docile, quiet. You know, she spoke when spoken to. You know, let's check this next one out. Let's a little stark contrast.
Hey, look, I need you ready to do it on a scale of 1 to 10, all right? The fuck funny?
Oh! See, he ate on blood. Where he at? Where he at?
So fat.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, he a 10. He a motherfucking 10 on blood. He a 10. Well, I said, take me through there.
She bought it.
I said that. What y'all get up?
You a smooth 6.
Why you got this? The fuck on. I'm blind. He gave me a 6.
Why you give her a 6? She an 8.
All my life. Bitch, I'm a 10.
A 10 for
Bitch,
real.
I'm a 10.
Oh, God.
All my life. What you rate me? No,
Hold on, wait.
you ain't no 3-6. What you rate me?
She said, "What's your rate?"
What you rate me?
Oh shit.
About a 5.5.
He ain't got no taste.
You like light skinned hoes?
I love beautiful women.
You love beautiful women?
Yeah,
You got a wife or
I'm not a
something?
beautiful woman.
No.
You got a girlfriend?
I believe y'all are very beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
We just ranked you.
Y'all just ain't hit tight.
Shut up, bro. You so messy.
Who that ass? Super.
Which one?
Which one? Turn around. Well, look at that ass. Say that ass.
No way.
Okay, cool. All right, come here. Oh, let me put you.
Can't sleep like this at night with a loss on my mind.
Did she really put hands on that
Hey,
man?
look.
Did she really put hands on that man? Why was she yelling like that though? That by itself, I'd be like, man, I'm good.
Right.
We trying to have a normal conversation and you out here yelling. I understand, you know what I'm saying, you might be under the influence, but I can't, no. I don't care how fat that ass is. No. Can't do it.
Yeah, man. But you see, the passport, bro, we got a docile, all feminine. You got yelling on blood, gang. You know, yelling and dancing all wild. And, man,
look, have a good time, but you know what I'm saying, have a good time over there.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying, I don't need my eardrums burst listening to that shit.
Be over there, man. Because I can't have that on my own. I can't be nowhere in the vicinity of that. Yeah, I see all that yelling. I'm going on the other side of the street.
No. That's gonna be the one you take to the family barbecue and she turned that thing upside down because somebody jumped in the line in front of her or something.
Yeah, that's a liability. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the other thing too, you know what I'm saying, is that they cut the video short, but it looked like, you know what I'm saying, playing or not, she went over there. You don't know that man like that, and to put hands on him, it looked like she kind of hemmed him up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Hemmed him up a little bit. Like,
man, look, that's a case waiting to happen, bro.
Exactly. So
go
I got too much to lose to be messing with. I don't give a damn if she was there. He was very generous. She ain't no she a 2 or 3 at best to me. And then the friend was worse. Friend of Penny Hardaway, she like a 1 to me, but I would run.
I think old boy was being very generous.
He was being very generous.
I'm a 10. What?
What?
I know you fool.
Right. No, let me go on somewhere else, man. He was very nonchalant too. That's another thing. Like we said as a man, you got to be docile because you know you can't match the energy. You think about putting your hands on a man like that and all in his face and
yeah, you match energies. That's how you gonna get in trouble.
Exactly. So that's trouble waiting to happen. Trouble. That's trouble.
Is so different from the U.S. So just left mainland China on a bullet train right now, heading to Hong Kong. A couple things that I noticed. So stayed at this 5-star hotel in China. The lobby was on the 95th floor. Every room was 95th floor up. They turn off the lights to the city. Every building, everything's completely dark, like at 11 p.m. They only serve water hot or room temp. Hot before you eat, which I think helps with digestion. And then like room temp, we almost never got cold water. Everybody's super respectful. Their food is extremely fresh. No is never an answer. When going to the factories and everything else, even for like some of the machines that I'm looking to manufacture, and said, hey, I want to make some adjustments and changes. They said the engineer can do it. A door I like for the house, I want it to be 15 feet instead of 8 feet. No problem, we can get it done. So like literally anything that you ask, they can figure it out and do it. They never say no. Everything's just amazing. China is so different from the U.S.
I've been hearing that, man. That's why economy damn near kicking our ass, man. We lost a big component of that customer service. You know?
Yep.
That customer service making me, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, and then we always, my mentor always used to say that you got to find ways to say yes. You know, find ways to say yes. You know, so we used to tell them, no, you can't do this. I can't do this. I only do Windows. Remember that back in the day? No, I don't do Windows. You know, that used to be a cliche back in the 80s. Like when you was supposed to get hired, you're going to tell the person that's hiring you what you don't do off the top. You know, so that's become the culture now. Like we disguise it as standards. But I don't get the standards when you behind and you broke. You know, the standards need to go. You know, razzle dazzle the customer, and then the money gonna come. But we want entitled to this money, and we want to do as less as possible for the same amount of money. That's the issue.
100%. First off, you know what I'm saying, Sweatpants Millionaire, you know what I'm saying, I commend him on. It's very few people that actually hop on a plane to go over there and meet the people face to face for what you need and what you want. So he has actually done that. I believe, you know what I'm saying, they used to do that way back then, but since Alibaba come about and a whole bunch of other apps and websites and stuff like that, that has bridged the gap of the communication between the US retailers and China manufacturers or South America or wherever it is that you want to do business or whatever it is that you're selling. I think, you know what I'm saying, that is a lost art to actually get in a plane and actually go over there and lay eyes on the actual product and to have a face-to-face conversation with them about what kind of changes and modifications that you want to make. So outside of that, you know what I'm saying, customer service is a lost art. So I 100% agree with that. But I just wanted to point out that sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you have to make that trip. You have to make that trip to make sure that you're putting the product out there, especially, you know what I'm saying, when you're worried about your brand and what kind of product that you're putting out there. It's always best to do face-to-face business. Call me old school, but I think it's nothing better.
Gotcha. Let's run to this next one here. Keep it moving because I tell you quite a bit of on this one.
What happened if a cop pulled up right now and tossed with this thing?
I'm belling.
And now after your brother got shot, how do you feel about gun violence? You know, you ready for the gun violence to stop? Or
Hell no.
Living here in Chicago, we've been talking with these guys right here, and is it pretty dangerous to be walking around these streets?
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna bow.
Is that why you're walking around with the shiesty?
I got upthrown by 4 pipes in one day, and that was the first day I ever even knew how to hit a leg on my grandma.
Don't come through playing. We're gonna leave your ass right here in this lot.
That threat?
However you want to take it.
Okay. Now the sun has set, and it's getting a little dark out here. You're just out here puffing. Don't puff in my face. It gives me a headache. How old are the kids out here when they first get their first guns?
Shit,
Initiated.
13, 14 and shit like that. 11. Shit, man, they out here. They just trying to do what they trying to do.
You switch me sides. Don't want me next to you. got me covered, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
You all state.
You know what's going on.
Okay, so we do got some backup if anything does happen.
Yeah, yeah.
You got one bullet shot right here, one right there, and then you have a literal bullet in your rib.
Yeah.
What kind of bullet you got in here?
It's like a 40.
40. And that hurt when I go like that?
Yeah, no, I can't feel that shit.
What do the girls think about the bullet when they take the shirt off? They're like, dang, this guy got some respect on his name.
They be trying to touch it and shit on.
Whoa. And what would happen if a cop pulled up right now and they saw us with this thing?
I'm belling.
No, that reminds me of the boys that be crocodile hunters and all that stuff, man. He like the like the new
Like
version.
to play with danger. Like to play with danger, man.
Crikey,
What you
man. You know, so he's one of them. You know, so
I'm like, why? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's mind-boggling to me, you know what I'm saying, with people and the lengths that people will go through just for clicks. Like, that's crazy for him to be out there, you know what I'm saying, like that. And then in the deep middle of the night, you know what I'm saying, they point guns all at the cameraman, you know what I'm saying, and everything. So obviously you out there, you know what I'm saying, with some cats that, you know, maybe a little bit careless, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, man, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see the point of it. But to each his own.
Right. I mean, it's generational. I mean, this generation kind of fell off the cliff. I was listening on the way here while you were texting. I was listening to Tommy Sotomayor podcast. Him and had Captain Cesariak on there and like a couple other cats. They were going in. I'm gonna go back and listen to probably tonight. But what they're talking about is how like the generations degraded. Like each generation kind of like went down, and then what happened is without the males in the household, like this generation right here, with a product of the product, like our generation was the last key kids. We were the first generation, like raised by the single moms. Now we 2 generations in, and now it's like it's dropped so far off a cliff. There's no guidance. There's no like one direction. Is it's just so dysfunctional. We just basking in the dysfunction now. So I mean, they were right. I'm gonna go back. I didn't complete the whole thought, but but I'm gonna go back and listen to it. I'll probably comment on it more next week. But they were going there, but I was in a rush to get here, so I haven't finished watching it or listening to it. But yeah, it's this generation, man. I don't know what the fascination is about guns, but I guarantee you they wouldn't let me go in there and do that same thing. Let me interview you guys. Let me walk with you. They have a problem. They have a problem with me. This kid coming from outside the culture, outside, but they're gonna protect him. So let's run this next one. This next one kind of it's kind of the piggyback the same thing, but this is how far this is gone. Let's see what you say about this right here.
Christ is Lord.
Hey, why are you touching my stuff?
What are you doing?
Why are you touching
Jesus Christ. Anybody with ears to hear, and anybody with eyes to see, Jesus Christ has come so that you may have life. Jesus Christ loved you, and He died on the cross for you and for me. Jesus Christ is like, look at this. These are the fruits of Satan, guys. Jesus Christ. It's time to turn and find life in Jesus Christ.
Rebuke this, man.
Hey, this is the devil right here. That doesn't make me mad. It has nothing to me. It's harming their souls. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to stand before God. You don't think God will give an account for everything that we have done?
What the hell is that?
And turn to Jesus Christ. And turn to Jesus Christ.
We know you love Vids.
Jesus Christ is Lord. And He's coming back with a cloud. Every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. The Bible says in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, so that if anybody believes in Him, they will not perish but have everlasting life. So turn to Jesus Christ. These things other than the love of God.
Yeah, so this is totally different than my generation, man. Like I said, back when in my day, you had these boys on Bourbon Street, but they wouldn't really pay them attention. They wouldn't antagonize them like that. This is some new stuff, So my day, they always have them on Bourbon. They always have, or like on Canal Street somewhere. But it didn't apply. Let it fly. Boys keep rolling. Now they ignore them, but shit, these cats nowadays they going at them.
Next video. Got nothing to say on it. Yeah. That's different, bro. Yeah. That's different. So.
Himself unemployed.
At the same time, I was still living in my van. I was homeless. I got divorced.
I'm from the east side, but I had manifested that I wanted to live in an area called Rosedale Park. So I would go over there every night, find a different house to sit in front of.
He says through manifestation and a belief in himself, inspiration took hold.
I put the word Believe 313 on a rubber band, and I would go downtown and just sell rubber bands.
And one day, opportunity came knocking at one door in particular.
Police were putting a Bateman sticker on a house one day, and I rolled past it, and I said, what's going on? They said, we've been giving him tickets for 2 years.
He contacted the owner of that very home and offered $6,500.
He took that money, and then I just worked on the house room by room.
Other doors started to open, and Mario didn't hesitate to walk through. For instance, while touring a Shinola factory.
We walked into a room, it was filthy, it was dirty. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, our cleaning company is terrible. I said, I have a cleaning company.
He didn't exactly have a cleaning company yet, but he did have $27 worth of cleaning supplies.
They told me, give us a proposal. You know, I went home and tried to figure out how much it would cost to do a building of this size.
He got the job, and 313 Cleaning was born. Then came the next opportunity.
In 2021, no one wanted to go to work.
Right.
So I said, let me start Believe 313 staffing.
Word spread of his success, which again led to new chances.
I started hiring a lot of returning citizens. And they would tell me, man, your story is, we talk about your story to people in jail all the time. So I said, I need to share my story.
So he did.
I'm the cleaning guy. You know, my whole journey started with cleaning. So
let's do that.
Yeah, let's show them where it started at, where the $27 started at.
That may have been where it started, but Mario Kelly has no idea where it will end. And he says that's a good place to be. Actually found himself.
I'll go give you crack at that when I pull it this next one.
Man saw a need and filled a void. That's what it boils down to. Right place, right time. And you know, the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, he put an effort out there. Now, he could have easily said, man, I don't really have a company, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I can do a building this size, man. I just have to pass up on this opportunity. There's many people that get scared because the opportunity is too big. But this gentleman here, you know what I'm saying, he put the effort in and he had the mindset. When you talk about dream big, you know what I'm saying, I don't know necessarily if his dream was big, but he definitely had a dream that I could make this happen. So, you know what I'm saying, he put in the work to figure out exactly what his cost was. And I'm pretty sure he came in cheaper than anybody else that they could have found in the yellow pages or anybody else that they could have found. You know what I'm saying? I got a referral from whatever the case may be. But hey, look, you know what I'm saying? He probably was so cheap, they were just like, we can't lose. I mean, if nothing else, we get a half-ass cleaning. But the surprising thing is he probably went in there and did a great job. Now that he does a great job, now they're going to refer him to other people. Or the people that own that property management company that runs the building, or the people that owns that building now has other buildings that they want to put him on. Hey, look, man, can you take on this other project? And then it just kind of grows from there. But it starts, you know what I'm saying, with the mindset that you can do versus you can't do. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, people cut their blessings short just because, you know what I'm saying, they don't take the shot. You know, in basketball, they always used to say you're gonna miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. He actually took a shot and he actually made it. And then now, you know what I'm saying, he's a multimillionaire, probably going on to be a billionaire, just because he chose not to pass up on an opportunity that landed in his lap.
Right. Speaking of which, I'm going to make a quick comment on this and then go to the next one. I didn't realize I had that many. We're gonna have to start rapid double timing on these, a couple of, you know. But on there, like I said, it's all about attitude. Like I said, a lot of people, once they get down to they last, they curl up in a ball. And, you know, they have this defeatist attitude and they never get, you know. That's what really walking on water is. Just go ahead and, you know, put yourself out there, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yep.
That's the real where fate come in. Like, think about it. Do a bird or like a lion or anything else worry about what it's going to eat next Tuesday? You know, like damn, 15 days from now, damn, I only got like enough meat. I'm gonna be hungry now. Lion will get up and do his thing to his fullest, and is always gonna have a meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he might go a couple days without one, but eventually he's gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we gotta approach life. Like we it's gonna be there. If you gotta have the faith greater than a mustard, you know, faith the size of a mustard seed, right? You know, a lot of people get there, the world wall closing in on them and just ball up in the ball. And they never do great things.
Yep.
You know, so I'm gonna run through this. Speaking of which, this is a good one to piggyback when we were talking about how the girl put his hand in his face, and we were talking about this kind of the common theme earlier with the PJ Williams. Like these women could provoke anything and get out of line, but we can't do a damn thing. Check this out.
Well, it don't matter. I know how much you doing too much. Why are you following him around the store like that?
You shut the fucking mouth. I don't want that. I want to cool down. My nigga. Hey, you gotta go. Let my fucking chop.
Hey, that's assault. You're assaulting him. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing, Geeks. She assaulting you. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Don't do nothing, Geeks. Geeks, don't do nothing. Lady, get your hands off of him. Get your hands off of him. Hey, get your hands off of him. Get your hands off of him. Yo, get your hands off of him. Get your hands off of him. Yo, get your hands off of him.
Tell him to get off of me.
Get your hands off. His hands is off. His hands is off you.
Get my phone.
His hands is off. Yo, his hands is off you. His hands is off you. Oh my God, bro. Yo. Where's going?
All right, yeah, no, you can't be doing it. No, you can't be doing it.
Yo. Get off my head. Get off my head. Get off my head. Get off
You
my
can't
head.
be doing that.
Get off my head.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
2200 don't matter.
I know how much you
It's the way of the world, man. It's the way of the world. Now here's the thing.
Trip me out.
It's crazy to me how everybody watched her grab his head and drag him up and down that aisle. And he had hands up, you know what I'm saying, didn't do anything. But it's not until he decided to try to get her off of him before somebody wanted to step in and diffuse the situation. And then now you have these women in the background that's on the video talking about that's a woman. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't put his hands on him. You in a lose-lose situation.
Right.
Now, I don't necessarily know what the full backstory is or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she works for Family Dollar. It looks like that they were in. I have no idea. But it just turned out to be a bad situation. It's just another example of how, you know what I'm saying, you know, for us men, you know what I'm saying, we're almost handicapped when it comes to a woman because, you know what I'm saying, they can do whatever they want to, you know what I'm saying, and it's seen as, you know what I'm saying, a man is just supposed to take it. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But the moment a man decides to fight back or protect himself or whatever the case may be, he's seen less than, or he's seen more as the aggressor, or now she's seen as the victim. And it's unfortunate.
Man, the whole store jumped on this guy. Man, like that. Where was the whole store that was just watching the whole store?
Correct.
Like
there was a whole
people came out of the woodwork.
Crazy.
I'm like, man, this is crazy right here. And so, you know, got to do hair and all this stuff. And like, man. So the best thing, I think the best, is be aware of your surroundings, be aware of who you're around. You can't go to certain places, you know, expect things happen. If you think about it, you never see it. We talk about this all the time on the show. You never see a Lambo in church's drive-thru. So, You know, so you can't go to these places. You gotta. I'm sorry, but you gotta, especially when you have assets, you gotta protect yourself. And part of that is being aware of your surroundings. You know, because with these pranks and with the lack of accountability that we have, you got to protect yourself. And one part of the protection is being smarter where you go. That's why I'll do Uber Eats or whatever. I'm not going to certain places. So might be in line and somebody starts something with you, and it's gonna be a lose-lose. And who's gonna turn around and sue you? But it's all about protecting your assets, and yourself is your greatest asset. So, and peace of mind is your greatest asset too.
Facts.
So
2025, what is the difference between a good entrepreneur and a great one?
Somebody who gets up early, stays up late, works harder, doubles down, is hooked on excellence, not perfection, who is resilient, who never gives up, never gives in, who is absolutely obsessed with finishing the race and being a credit to their race. And if you do those things, and you have that attitude, you can't help but win. Most people are just lazy, Jabari. I mean, love is work, non-love is laziness, anti-love is evil. Evil exists, but it's very rare. Most people are just lazy, intellectually lazy, physically lazy, financially lazy, spiritually lazy. They don't want to do the work. They want somebody else to do it for them. And so anybody who's willing to do the work, whatever you love is going to drive you crazy. You love your husband, wife, kids, job, career. It's going to drive you crazy. It's going to exhaust you. Love is work. Only in the dictionary does the word work, success come before the word work because it's alphabetical. So you got to do the work. You got to be committed to it. You do the work. We talk all times of day, night, weekends, weekends, and you got to be obsessed with excellence. And if you do that, the haters will make you better. Rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. These problems in society, and there's lots of them. Anybody awake today, you're not bored. I mean, people reading the Constitution, Bill of Rights, first time, like, whoa, what's this thing about an executive order, right? I mean, people are listening to issues in civics. There are so many opportunities that are going to come out of this disruption. Be focused on maximizing or trying to figure out how to turn that disruption into a business opportunity for yourself. They're everywhere. Artificial intelligence is going to change everything. Like literally everything. AI in furniture, AI in suits, AI in video photography, it's going to change wherever you're interested in. AI in sports, obsess about that, become the best at that, become the GOAT at that, and then you won't be denied.
Yeah. So in 2025, what is the difference between a good entrepreneur and a great one?
I'll let you get first crack at that when I pull up the next one.
I think he has a point, but essentially, from what I took from that is that, you have to understand where the curve of business is going. If you want to be a great entrepreneur, it's no longer good enough to just say, I have this core business and this is what I'm sticking to. I think a lot of businesses now have kind of figured out that, hey, look, it's not necessarily okay to just stay stagnant. Like, okay, well, cool. You were good. You're successful in 2025, but 2026 looks 100% different. 2027 looks 100% different. I think it was good back in the 90s, back in the 80s. You had a core principle of the way you did business, and then that's all you had to stick to. I think now the climate changes so much. So essentially, with technology, AI, everything else, you have to be ahead of the curve, or you have to be with the curve, so to speak. So, in business, if you just want to be a great entrepreneur, you have to consistently update yourself, update your strategies, update the infrastructure of your business to keep up with times, because it's always changing. In order to do that, you have to make sure that you're getting the proper education, that you're taking the proper steps, and you're hiring the proper people in order to take those steps forward. If you're not, then you're falling behind the curve. Eventually, you're going to go out of business. But when you become great at something, or when you want to become great at something, kind of like he said, you become obsessed with it. You become obsessed to the point where, you know what I'm saying, you're constantly thinking about what is the next step. What's the next step? How can I make my business easier? How can I make it easier for my workers? How can I make it more attractive for clients? So on and so forth. I don't think, you know what I'm saying, as an entrepreneur, if you want to be a great entrepreneur, you're having those conversations on a day-to-day basis. If you see success now and you just want to be good, like, hey, look, man, I got my time, I'm making money, I'm good where I'm at, then you're going to always remain good. And eventually, you know what I'm saying, you may get phased out and you may no longer be in business. But if you want to be a great entrepreneur and you want to have a business that sustains the test of times, you always have to be ahead of the curve or with the curve and always evolving.
Gotcha. I mean, the gist of what I got from what he was saying is that you got to outdo yourself. You got to actually put in the work and do the research, which we were talking about earlier, in order to be the best and a GOAT at what you're doing. Then the money gonna come from there. I think, especially in this generation, they want to skip the work aspect of it. They want to go straight to the rewards and the fruit, you know. Because again, Instagram, social media age, everything looks easy, you know, and they portray it as, you know, I just you know, like even what you were talking about with the fix and flips, they make it sound so easy, but they don't understand the hours of pound of pavement to find the right deal. What do you do to get that deal? So in social media is a highlight reel of the easy part of the fruits, but some people get that construed with reality. They don't see the planting of the seed, the water, and the talking to the fertilizer, all the stuff that it takes to get that fruit. You know, and that's what you got to fall in love with. You got to fall in love with the work. That way, the work's there. You fall in love with the work. The fruit is just a bonus. You know, so, but most people are lazy. Most people don't want to do anything across their whole life. They across, like you said, spiritually lazy, everything, financially lazy, the whole 9 yards. You know, most people fall into that category. But, you know, they blame everybody else for their misfortune. It is what it is. Not really a misfortune. It's really just cycling. You know, you're cycling your own energy. You know, so. But I got a bunch. I might have to pick and choose. I might have to pick a couple more of these. I'm gonna have to but I'm gonna go ahead and play it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and play this.
All right.
What would you do? I'm gonna go ahead and play this right here, man. I know I ain't got nothing to do. We expanded past real estate on this.
Hey, whoa, the crazy dog! Funny, he can't do nothing. Wait for the crazy dog! Mike, wait for the crazy dog! I'm not being harmed, just it's fun. But he can't do nothing. He can't do. Listen, he's doing his job. Don't be an idiot. He can't do nothing. Ooh.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
He can't do nothing, all right. He showed you he can't do nothing.
All right. Well, that's the thing. The reason why I played that clip, because it kind of goes into the theme of what we were talking about. Is like, you could be, if you look at the overarching theme of this, you don't have to be doing anything wrong in the modern climate today to get antagonized. You know, you could be doing the right thing. You know, and then I don't know what it is. I don't know if people need that thrill or whatever. They put themselves in harm's way, or they put themselves in ways where they don't have any repercussions or whatever. But you got to protect yourself. You know, so look at this guy. I don't know what he's doing it for likes but you know, you had this bad job. I don't know what it was, you know, what you thought it was gonna be, but you know, playing around in the man's face, you know, and then got knocked out cold. So I'll let you go ahead and run it.
Man, I really didn't have nothing to say to that. It's just stupidity at its finest. I just don't understand what he was trying to get. As we talked about, it must have been just clicks. He's just looking for clicks. And he got the clicks that he wanted. But I don't know necessarily if they were good clicks. Because anytime you get knocked unconscious, you know what I'm saying, and like a boxer or something like that, you know what I'm saying, I have no idea probably where you at or what even happened. Was it really worth it at the end of the day? I don't think so.
These kids, there's new anything for attention, anything to go viral is the new climate. New
time I hear people saying, yeah, you know, I don't like working for other people. So, you know, I want to work for myself because I want to set my own hours. Let me tell you what, when you work for yourself, there's no Christmas, there's no fucking Easter. You're working through all those holidays. Every day something bad happens. Every day there's problems. Every day somebody's trying to fuck you and take what you've built. It's a war. I laugh every time I hear people saying, yeah.
I mean, it kind of piggyback to what we were saying earlier, man. With planning and taking this thing serious as far as strategy. Everybody wants to be successful, but nobody plans for everything that comes with it.
Correct.
You know, so I got one or two more. I'm gonna have to pick and choose with these, man. Like I said, I gotta play this one, man. Let's end it on something funny, man. This dude, Drewski, had me crying, man, laughing, man.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Man, I don't know if you've seen his latest viral video, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and run it because he just had me crying, man. You know,
Hey, you lost, boy? No, I'm going to the race. What race? NASCAR race. You going to NASCAR? A little bit. You ain't lost, is you? No, I'm good. I'm going to the race, sir. Sure about that? Yes, sir. Find something safe to do, boy. Here's the love. Here's the all. If you can't come in her, come over. Yeah! USA! Woo! Born in the USA! Hey, Joanna. Hey, come on. You need to listen to your nana. Go ahead, baby. 6 o'clock. Yeah. If liquor don't kill us, pussy must.
oh shit! I ain't gonna lie, that nigga Drewski done it with that one, right? oh shit! oh god, that nigga that looked just like a redneck hillbilly in that motherfucker. and if we to be all the way honest like a motherfucker, that's really what them white folks mad at. They ain't mad that y'all can miss me with that whole ass shit about doing white face, bitch ass nigga. That was a white redneck hillbilly. Y'all just mad that you found out after the fact that it was really a black ass nigga. Yeah, Man, that tan and everything, man. Whoever did that makeup, man, he's a dog for that.
I had to look real hard to make sure that was Drewski. You know what I'm saying? That was whoever did that makeup. You know what I'm saying? Then he had that mullet wig on. You know what I'm saying? That's funny.
Right.
That was funny.
They did that.
But here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Where I have to play devil's advocate on this one, right? So when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, him doing that, we see that as funny, right? That's hilarious, which it was. But when the shoe is on the other foot and they do blackface, there's an uproar, right? You know what I'm saying? The reaction is completely different. Same thing, but you know what I'm saying, just the reaction is different. I just don't I guess I just don't understand, you know what I'm saying, just the to me it seems like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of hypocrisy, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I understand the fact of, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, we got the history of everything, you know what I'm saying, the history of the whole blackface and everything. And it goes back centuries of, you know what I'm saying, history, whatever the case may be. But if we're going to be sensitive one way, I think we ought to be sensitive another way as well, too. But, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately, the same way we talk about the women versus men in the previous video, when that happened, you know what I'm saying, I think it's just the way of the world, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a hypocrisy view on things, you know what I'm saying? It's okay when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it type situation.
Well, I think that's the issue. Like, it's more of that. Like, I think like back in the days they might have been offended. I don't think that's the case. Is like they call it for Drewski to be canceled because of that. But like I said, they did blackface. Al Jolston and all them did blackface for years, till just recently. So they still do something to that effect. Where didn't Dave Chappelle have one as a white man, and same thing. They have it all the time. It's never really. It just changed a little bit, but it's not just the. Don't forget Mickey Mouse is originally in blackface. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's embedded in the code. He just flipped it on him, and I think it's the true hypocrisy. Like, it's been flipped on you, and they didn't know it, and I think they feel duped. So I think that was more embarrassment that they didn't know. You know what I mean? But I said again, I think comedy is comedy. However funny it is, I still think I think some things. Yeah, I guarantee I play some stuff right now. You'll be offended at. I think it's funny as shit. I know you'll be offended. But like I said, I think comedy is comedy. In fact, let me go ahead. I had it for last week, but I skipped it. It's up in here somewhere. A second, but yeah, I mean, I think if it's funny, it's funny. Regardless who, I think we the most sensitive group though. Like we can make fun of everybody else, but I think when it comes to us, like when we get isolated, I think I think this shit is funny as hell right here.
Yeah, without the Section 8 housing and food stamps, I have to get a job, feed my 7 kids. And that's why I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, I think that shit is hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Not with the chicken legs.
Huh?
So not with the chicken legs.
Right. So I mean, but again, it's all about, you know, we can make fun of every genre, every group, but when it comes down to us, we get offended. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's facts.
You know, so
I think, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's it depends on what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen some white comedians, you know what I'm saying, make fun of black people, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, shit was funny.
Right.
It was received well. But I just think, you know what I'm saying, it's just certain things that go across the line, across the board, you know what I'm saying, that becomes a problem. But, you know, again, you know what I'm saying, it's just, you know, it's all comedy at the end of the day, whether you think it's funny or you don't think it's funny, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just kind of meant to, I guess, make light of, you know, certain situations that are true. You know what I'm saying? It may not be all the way true or show the whole picture, but you know what I'm saying, in some respects, you know what I'm saying, you know, a lot of comedy comes from truths.
Right.
Just is what it is.
Right. I mean, I don't know if we got time. What is it, 12? I was already after 12, man. I got this Anton video, but shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I know y'all like Anton.
Hey, look, I know you want to close it out on controversy. You might well run it.
I mean, if you controversial on this, it's something gonna be personal. I think other than like what it really is. But let me run it because it's on.
The video was something like, is it better to rent or buy? Because she's moving, but she decided to rent even though she has the ability to be able to buy. And I thought it'd be a good conversation. I haven't seen the video yet, but I think that it would be worth having a conversation about it because there's a lot of conversation going on about affordability, renting, buying, and all of this stuff. I have a different perspective or a different mentality when it comes to renting and buying. And so I thought it would be worth watching this video and reviewing it together.
After about a year of searching, I am finally moving to a bigger place. And contrary to what I thought when I first started looking, I decided to rent instead of buy. A year ago, I was determined to buy because if you have the money to do it, it's what you do in America, right? It's a sign of success and it's always the best investment, right? This is so ingrained in many of us. We're blinded to the fact that it's not always true anymore. I'm going to explain why I decided to sign a lease and rent for another year, even though I technically could buy, and why I think this is the better financial decision for me. The first reason I decided not to buy and instead sign a new lease is because when I actually ran the numbers, it wasn't the best investment. And this was hard for me to wrap my mind around because for many years, buying was a great investment. Really for much of the past 50 years, even as early as 2021. If you bought a place, your monthly cost would be the same, if not slightly cheaper, than the cost to rent a comparable place. But this is just not the case anymore. With where prices and interest rates are currently, usually the monthly mortgage cost would be much higher than a comparable unit for rent. When you actually run the numbers, it's pretty surprising. So take this condo, for example, that is in the $800,000 price range. It's 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, about 1,000 square feet. And this is pretty typical of what you'll find in this price point in Los Angeles.
Is that what y'all paying? Y'all paying 800 bands for 1,000 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo? Y'all are getting finessed, and y'all got to pay property taxes, and y'all give up a percentage of y'all income as far as the highest income taxes in the United States of America. Man, y'all smoking crack, bro. No way. No way under on God's green earth. And y'all got bad squatters laws, and y'all probably got to pay HOAs. Ain't no way on God's green earth. I know y'all love that California weather, that Los Angeles weather. Ain't no way on God's green earth that I'm buying a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo for 1,000 square feet in Los Angeles for $800,000. You smoking crack, bro. I can't swing it. I can't see it, but let's continue.
For a place like this, the monthly mortgage is nearly $6,000 a month because of today's 7% interest rate. Meanwhile, there are plenty of 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments that are arguably more updated. You can see the floors in the kitchen do look more modern in this one, that are less expensive. This one is renting for $4,500 a month. Not to mention, you also have that down payment that you could leave in the stock market. There's the opportunity cost of that as well. So for this place, it's a $160,000 down payment. And if you're getting that average stock market return, that's $16,000 per year that you're losing out on. Not to mention, if you're saving $1,500 a month because it's cheaper to rent, you can invest that as well. And in 5 years, you would have nearly $400,000. And so the question.
So that she actually did a really good breakdown.
Well, and in 5 years, you would have nearly four.
So basically what she's saying, because a lot of times people don't pay attention to the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is the opportunity to be able to own it, to be able to put your name on it, right? I don't look at a place that you live at as an investment. I just don't. I don't look at a place that you put over your head that you're actually living in as an investment. I look at a stock market as an investment. I look at investing in a company as an investment. I look at starting a specific business as an investment. I look at owning real estate that you're renting out to other people, that you're generating income as an investment. I don't look at a home that you live in as an investment. Now, if you want to have a conversation about how much you can customize it, whether or not you want to have maintenance and all of this stuff, and that's a completely different conversation. But even if you just look at the opportunity cost, meaning the amount that you're making every single year as far as a 10% return on your money, which is not unheard of in this particular market. As a matter of fact, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you probably should be getting at least a 12 to 13% return on your money if you join in the Patreon and Stock Club. You're basically saving by taking that $160,000 plus $1,500 that you saving on not buying the place on top of a 10% return. And you basically, after a certain amount of time, you sitting on close to $400,000 that you could have kept in your pocket versus front loading a mortgage in which you're going to be paying the majority of it in interest over to a mortgage company, over to a bank. And so this is why we say that, hey, listen, just because you're buying instead of renting, don't mean that you're coming out ahead. Just because you're buying because instead of renting does not mean that you're coming out ahead. You also got to factor in maintenance. You also got to factor in repairs. You also got to factor in property taxes. You also, if you have it, have to factor in HOA fees. And so there's a lot of costs that we don't take into accountability, right? There's downfalls, King, and there's pros and there's cons. It depends. It depends on how long you live in it. It depends on the area that you buy. It depends on whether or not you can get a better return for your money. It depends on if you decide that you want to leave within the next 3 to 4 years and you've only front loaded it. And then now you're depending on the property to appreciate. And you're not even taking into consideration the 3 to 6% that you got to pay to the realtor.
I'm gonna go back. We'll finish watching it next week but I'll let you go ahead and run in on that with you. I know you're gonna disagree with this because you had Tom.
I'm gonna disagree with it because I'm saying I disagree with it in principle. Grant Cardone says the same thing. Grant Cardone doesn't believe in purchasing your primary residence. He believes in renting your primary residence. There's a lot of other quote unquote gurus out there, you know what I'm saying, that would actually say, you know what I'm saying, it is smarter to own your own primary residence. I'm a believer in owning your own primary residence. Just simply because, you know what I'm saying, if you're paying this amount of money and you're not getting a return for it just by renting, you're either essentially pissing that money away. And let's be real. In her situation, in her example, if you're saving that $1,500, what percentage of people are actually investing that extra $1,500 that they could have did to purchase a home? The way that people look at it, you know what I'm saying, and she seems like, you know what I'm saying, she's young. She may be 21, 22, something along those lines. But I think eventually, you know what I'm saying, when she grows up, matures, and understands financial ability and looks up 5 years from now and be like, man, I done pissed away so much money in rent. The market is shifting now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looks at real estate according to the market that they're in. Right now, it ain't a great market. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about interest rates high, so on and so forth. But nobody looks at the long game. Here it is, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the actual Feds dropping rates. When Feds drop rates, the market is going to start to shift. And then a year from now, when you're like, damn, in California, you know what I'm saying, properties are growing by $200,000 or $300,000 a year, then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you get that FOMO. Oh man, I missed out. I should have bought back then, and I would have been able to cash out right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's too late at that point. Like, you can still go and purchase a home at that point, but now you're locked into a year lease. You can't buy anything until that lease is up. Like, you've missed the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But everything is kind of hindsight 2020. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, everybody's talking about how interest rates are high. Now is the time to buy before things get crazy. Things are about to get crazy, starting with the first drop from the Feds. Things are going to start to get crazy. The appreciation of property is going to start to get crazy. I am never going to be a believer that renting your primary residence is going to be better than owning it. It's just my opinion. However you want to look at it, to each its own. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, that girl there, you know what I'm saying, has $1,500. You may actually take that $1,500 that you're saving and invest it. Kudos to you for having the discipline. But what percentage of America is actually going to take that $1,500 that they're saving and actually invest it in something solid? Or how many of those are going to actually say, hey, look, I got an extra $1,500 per month. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to take a trip every single month. I'm going to take a trip every single, I'm going to blow this at the club. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out and live my best life, whatever the case may be. There's no return in that amount of money. So everybody's situation is a little bit different. It's okay to say, okay, well, look, you know what I'm saying, this is the way I'm doing things. That's fine. That may work for you. But for majority of America, that doesn't work. People have to have, it's a reason why here in Texas, they have the TRS, which is the Teachers Retirement Fund. The Teachers Retirement Fund, you're forced to invest in, and then you can't get any of that money back. It's no way. You can't take a loan against it. You can't do anything with it. So teachers, when they get ready to retire, are set up because they was forced to do it. It wasn't like they had that extra bread and they were just like, well, you can invest it if you want to. Or like a 401k, you know what I'm saying? You can contribute to the 401k if you want to. It's nothing along those lines. They were forced to invest in that. And then now when they retire, they're set for the rest of their lives. So when you talk about your principles as far as investing, everybody doesn't have those same principles. Everybody doesn't have those same disciplines. Everybody doesn't have that same knowledge to even know how to invest in stuff, how to invest in stocks, how to invest in mutual funds, how to invest in ETFs. Nobody, like, a lot of people don't have that knowledge, and a lot of people are too lazy, which is what we learned a couple of videos ago. A lot of people are too lazy to even figure it out. So when you talk about, you know what I'm saying, setting yourself up for the future, I think the best opportunity is to purchase your home, even though it may be a little bit more. That is forcing you to invest in your future versus somebody else having to invest. If you're not a teacher in Texas that's forcing you to pay into a pension, then you know what I'm saying, you're left to your own, you're left to your own discipline in order to invest. And for a large percentage of people, they are not disciplined enough to invest. So yeah, in theory, that's good to say. In theory, that's good to point out the numbers and all this other stuff. But the truth of the matter is just people are not disciplined enough to do it.
Right. I mean, like I said, I don't agree with the not owning your, especially coming from my community, not owning your primary. I guess when you get the Grant Cardone level, I can see what he's talking about. If you're trying to live a certain lifestyle where you got a couple of $1 million home, the property taxes and everything depends on. Again, I agree with Anton. It depends. I would never. I won't say, because we talked about dreaming beyond your dreams, dreaming bigger, but I couldn't see myself doing a $2 million, $3 million house. Number one, I'm not going to have people over like that. We talked about this before. You know, I'm not going to have, it'll be strictly ego. I don't need that. I would do a penthouse, but even that would be a certain way. It might be better to rent it, because don't forget those HOAs are in perpetuity. And there's a way I can write this all tax-wise as a part of the business. You know, so I would have to get a CPA to look and see, do I own this penthouse and do the depreciation, or do I just rent this underneath the business name and then leasing it as corporate living, and it's a tax write-off of a business expense. So in that case, if I got a business that's cash flowing that much and I want to rent a $10,000 a month penthouse, that might be where, because I need to spend this anyway. I need to spend part of this money anyway, or give it to the government.
Right.
So in that situation, yeah, I can see that. And it's total luxury. Because if I get a $2 million house, I can't see paying that $60,000, especially here in Texas, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year liability, basically. And I'm not going to even occupy that thing like that. So yeah, I get it, but but don't get that misconstrued with first-time home buyers and our community and stuff like that, where this is your greatest asset. I agree with you as far as that. This is a forced savings, basically. That you're gonna pay every time because you need a roof over your head. So it's forcing you to put money into this piggy bank. Yes, that situation is different. A and B are not alike. Grant Cardone is looking from here.
Correct.
And people thinking that's blanketed all the way down.
Correct.
No. If that's the case, if you own a company and understand how companies work, yeah, you could go ahead and do that and rent it. It might make more sense, depends on the property, depends on the situation.
Here's the thing, I'm saying, to add to that is, I got a good friend of mine, I'm saying, whose wife is from California. And back when she was in California, every bit about 15 years ago or so, she actually purchased a home, a nice 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Wasn't a big, not a big house, I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I'm saying, she's in California. She chose to invest in the property that she owned, not just rent. Now, mind you, I'm saying, over the years, she's taken 4 or 5 different cash outs from that property, I'm saying, just because it is appreciated so much. Right now, I'm saying, that property is worth $1 million+, I'm saying? And the only thing she owes on it is $200,000. So in a situation like that, I'm saying, if she chose to sell it, she could cash out and make out like a bandit. Or if she chose to do another cash out, she can pull an easy $200,000 or $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 out of that property and go invest in whatever it is that she want to invest in, and still continue to use it as a rental. So like, it doesn't make sense to me when you talk about, even in California, that it's better to lease versus purchase, because I'm saying, California is a different animal than the rest of the country, just because property values are high there. When you talk about New York, property values are a lot higher than it is in the rest of the country. Like, I'm saying, if you're looking at something like that, I get it. If you can't afford it or don't want to pay the extra because you want the bells and whistles in a house, which is a completely different topic by itself, right? Because when we deal with people and say, hey, look, I understand you want that $400,000 house, but according to your income and your debt for what you can actually afford, then you can only afford $250,000 or $200,000 or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people's mind, like, hey, look, if I can't get that $400,000 house and I got to pay that note on it, then I'd rather just lease. But then you look up 5 years from now, that same house right there, I'm saying, you could have had $100,000 of equity in there. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. And especially when you talk about in California, the same way she talked about, like, I have a real life example of somebody that actually is able to pull out cash or do whatever they want to with this property because there's so much equity in there. Like, there's pros and cons when you talk about California and New York. The appreciation over there in those places is crazy. But I guarantee she's leasing now. In a year from now, when everybody start talking about, oh man, the market is crazy, it's a seller's market, you know what I'm saying? They're paying me over list price, or whatever the case may be. I'm able to cash out, make $500,000 or $1 million. Then all of a sudden you're like, damn, maybe it wasn't better for me to rent. Like, why does it have to get to that point? So I think people's opinion is based upon the market real estate is cyclical. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go up, it's going to go down. We've been in down market for a minute now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's getting ready to swing again. And then people are going to have that fear of missing out the same way they did with COVID. With COVID, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was just like, damn, I missed the opportunity because now everything is extremely high. Now I have to overpay. Now everything that I want to buy, I'm in a bidding war for it. I have to pay $15,000, $20,000 over it, or I have to waive my appraisal clause on it, or do all this other stuff. You have the opportunity now to take advantage of the market. But you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of people don't necessarily understand it. But I think it's the financial literacy that lacks. And that's what caused a whole bunch of people problems.
Well, it's comfort though, too. Comfort and peer pressure. Don't forget that doing the comfort route, like if I got this money in the bank and I got 50,000, I'm not gonna take my last and jeopardize my nest egg. People look at it like that, or you got a spouse or something like that that's telling you, she gonna like comfort, and that's just my cousin like issue, like, hey, why you got all, because I did his house, like, why you got all this money sitting in the bank? That's like the dumbest thing you can do. Is like, but I get it with his wife, like she want to see that money in the bank, because it gives her comfort. Right. But the money needs to work for you. It ain't working for you sitting in that bank. It's working for the bank. The bank is banking off your shit. But
and with inflation, that's losing value every single day, every single month. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But again, the wife see, oh, I got X amount of money in the bank. Oh, we good. Right. But so it's influence on you. So a lot of people scared to make that leap. That's how they feel comfortable. So, but with that being said, man, it's 12:30, man. We're gonna watch this Anton, because I think it's a long video, like 10 minutes. So we're gonna finish watching this Anton next week, man. So with that being said, man, I gotta catch some Z's. I gotta pop up early.
Sound like a plan.
All right, man. See y'all next week.